still have to, what's the word? Get into Roll20 and all that. But we can start whenever. I think you all started. Yeah. Rin, you are muted. Ah. What? Rin, my message is being checked by mods on the stream?
The fuck did you do? Oh, she can't hear yet. The fuck did you do to be checked?
I said, what's up, hoes?
Oh, because it has the moderation filter on there. You gotta watch your language. But we do allow hoes here. Sex work is legit work.
Clearly it's for gardening.
Yeah, sex work is legit work, so, you know, we value it here.
Yes.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so is gardening.
Hey, yo.
Gardening. Hi, puppy.
There's a puppy? Oh, hello, I hear him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be Blueberry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think her.
Oh, yeah, he's Blueberry.
Blueberries. Blurpleberries.
Well, she got groomed today.
Ooh, that's why
I
she's
would,
excited.
I hate to say it, but I would call her boobs.
Boobs.
It's okay,
Well,
we call her BS for short.
Well, we call my dog, we call him Jackass, we call him... I call him Bubs, Boobles, Bubbies, Poopers, a bunch of other names.
Well, she's the dog that sometimes gets that really hard dog smell.
Mm-hmm. You know the one.
Because we all love dog smell. Dog smell is fun.
Dog smell can be fun. It's not always fun, but it can be.
But when it gets that harsh, we call it essence of bullshit.
Yeah. Is Dougler here?
Dougler is here.
And Shay, you're back? I can't see with the bear.
I am indeed back.
Okay. So then it sounds like everybody's here. And also, hi.
Dude, you guys on time.
I know. You guys, she says, teasing. I am happy to say that I think Thursdays is a good day for this because I do not feel dead to the world, and I'm super excited to play tonight. I will also preface with next week we won't be playing because Kay, Shay, and I will be at a convention, but we mentioned that before. So this is just a reminder. This isn't a last-minute thing. This is just our thing that we do every January and February is we do our convention runs. So
lucky buggers.
Yeah, she flies in Thursday, actually, so we'll be quite busy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna be styling my wig. I'm gonna be adding embellishments to my cosplay.
Yeah, we're gonna get it ready. Oh,
Practice
I think
makeup on you guys.
I mentioned that I was able to get the express on there too. So
Hey yo.
I
Look
don't
at
know.
us.
I don't know if my boots are going to make it in, but I'll figure it out.
Like I said, I didn't order boots, so
Well, now I regret doing it because I'll probably either get them super late or not at all, and I need to figure out if I need to get them refunded. But it's whatever. It's what
you'll have them
happens.
for next time.
Yeah, I'll have them for next time, which is probably what it'll end up being. But it's what happens when you have to have shoes custom made because you were just born gigantically tall and have big feet. You're always right past that threshold of normal shoe size, and it's like, and I know plenty of people with the same shoe size as me, and it's so weird that just making that shoe size is not more normalized as people are getting taller. But anyways, I digress. That's just
Well, is it?
Hmm?
Is it?
And I feel you a laugh wide.
Yeah.
Have your Rin minute.
Oh, my Rin minute.
Moxley minute, Rin minute.
I mean, it's not an
Talking
unhinged.
about shoe sizes.
It's not an unhinged rant. It's just, I don't know. Just the large. I noticed that shoes stop at 12, and it's a little weird that the more people I know that have size 13s, it's like you should have that option available.
You know what
Well,
else?
we're all
drops at
basing
12?
it off of like European styles and not like the Netherlands areas
Yeah, you're right.
where everyone's huge.
But I mean, like I said, people as a whole are getting taller, so it's not like it's a strange concept to have just to prepare shoes of us the next size up, because it's like oh yeah, it's gonna take more material to make that one, so it has to cost more too, and it's like it's literally an inch. Why?
Do you know what else stops at 12? 11.
Ayo.
I was gonna say like childhood, but then I was like, wait, I'll just say something stupid like 11.
Yeah,
I like the 11
Works.
better
it's true.
because I mean,
It wasn't gonna be dark humor. 11's not dark humor.
Yeah, that's not dark humor. Anyways, hi everyone. This is the time for the introductions,
Hola.
where we can introduce our characters and get started. Since I don't have to work tomorrow, which is usually the big factor of us wrapping up, we can run a little bit longer these days on Thursdays now. Not too much longer because Kay does work. And I think
Yeah.
other people do work as well, so we need to still be responsible, but we can run over a little bit.
you're
That-
fine work.
Yes. That being said, let's start with introductions. So, Brian, you were the last one to talk, so I'm going to popcorn it to you for the intro.
Well, hello everyone. I am
Sorry.
Travis. Very nice to have a good time to play with everyone tonight in our epic adventure. I am playing a drone pilot who really would rather prefer to be a bot than more of this his humor counterpart. And I shall pop it over to Kay.
Hey, it's Kay. I'm here. I'm queer. And I'm also playing July, who is also here and sometimes queer.
Queer is a spectrum. She can slide the
She's
slider.
yeah. She's also a junkie, so that's fun. And that's all. Oh my god, I have a beer. I'm here, I'm queer, and I have a beer.
Oh, there you go. Dang, I should have had more mojitos made. Oh well, we'll get that later.
Sorry, I should have thought to get them.
No, you're fine. I only thought about it now too. It was pretty tasty yesterday too. I'm so glad. Yeah, popcorn to the next person.
I will popcorn because it rhymes to Shay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shay, or Shay the Fae, here on Twitch and PartyWipeGames. And today I am playing Ashley Preston. longtime character of the Stillwater Chronicles, and the these Free League games. So yeah, she is the artist of the group. A very techie artist, but an artist nonetheless.
I forgot to say,
Yeah.
I'm Hijinxical on stream on Twitch.
Hello. Hi, Jinxicle.
Thank you.
Yeah. Popcorn over. Who didn't go? Oh, popcorn over to Dougler.
Hello, everybody. I am Dougler on Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky. I've started to play Spider-Man on stream. I am still going to be playing Prey. Next stream, I should have something special for that. In here, I'm currently playing a Joanna Cassandra Campbell, the devotee. Yeah. I got stabbed last week.
Yeah, you did. I mean, there was a
I
little,
gave you
there was a little more to just being stabbed, but yeah, we can focus on the stabbing if you want.
I also got patched up at being stabbed, but there's trauma and mind building in there. And popcorn over to our lovely, extraordinary thing now that starts with X. GM Story Master Brindis.
Hello, I'm Rindis. You're on our channel, PartyWipeGames. Thanks for stopping by. I don't really have
Call
anything.
yourself Your Honor.
My Highness. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to add.
Highness?
Highness, yes, exactly. You're here. We're queer. Get used to it. So, I had a request from one of my players to start things off with a flashback. And we kind of got the recap-ish already from Dougler, so I will not bore everyone with a repeat of the repeat. But I'm going to actually let the person who wants to do the flashback kind of take over for a moment. And we can let her have this scene because I think it's kind of cool. And I encourage you guys to have more moments like this. You guys can message me throughout the week of going, hey, I'd like to see this, or I'd like a chance to do this, kind of thing. I love that. That's great storytelling. So we should do that. So I'm going to say that the scene here, before we transition into a flashback, is probably like the events being played in Ashley's mind. But for the purposes of the storytelling, you all have been driving for another day, well past the amusement park and the dangers of it put behind you. But now you've come to a checkpoint as you're traveling east and preparing to enter into the more deserty areas of California. This particular checkpoint is a military checkpoint. They have kind of sectioned off most of the roads so that everything's filtering into a single lane on each side. There are barricades up, there are trucks, there's a armored personnel carrier that has like one of the little turreted positions where there's a soldier boredly sitting and very actively manning the machine gun, ready to do what needs to be done if anybody thinks they're going to try and run or push through the blockade. But for right now, there's a pair of soldiers that are stopping each car individually to talk to the passengers and see where it is about that they're going or what business they have heading this way. But it's about 4 car lengths ahead before you all can even get there. So as everybody is doing their various things in the car, Ashley, who is currently driving, kind of has a moment to zone out and think about whatever it is she wants to have this flashback for.
This music got real intense for this, and I think it's appropriate. Um, but I feel like for uh, for this flashback, there's a moment where the scene kind of transitions, and this year is 1997, I think currently, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's I think the caption is like 14 years ago, 1993, something like that. And
Did you
at
say
the
14 years ago, 1993?
sorry, 1983.
Alternate
Yes,
universe.
alternate yeah. Sorry, brain. Um, but yeah, it's like 14 years ago, 1983, or whenever the events of um, uh, Tales from the Loop happened, and as the scene kind of unfolds, there's like a graveyard, and a group of children are kind of panicking and splitting up, running through this graveyard. Um, a pair of them hole up in a little mausoleum area and push the door closed um, before a much younger looking Ashley grabs the hand of another girl and runs off and pulls her aside to duck down and hide somewhere. And moments later, there's a um, cybernetic figure that comes tearing through the woods, looking around, and focuses on the door being shut at the mausoleum. And this cybernetic creature, while looking humanoid, currently does not have like that synthetic skin overlay, and you can see it is almost entirely machine except for a brain encased in a protective shell, as it runs up and with great strength begins to pound on this heavy bolted door. Um, Ashley pulls this other girl aside, and they duck down very quietly as this other girl is shaking. As she opens this very mechanical looking book and begins reading it in what sounds like Russian. Um, and Ashley is looking up very carefully, um, watching the figure, and uh, she has um, she has an she's holding a set of cutlery, ironically, protectively, a knife and a spoon, um, and uh, as if that would ward off this cybernetic menace. But as this scene kind of continues and this girl is going in Russian, nothing seems to be happening before the door begins to crack, and there is the sound of a gunshot and sirens in the distance. And after a moment, the girl that Ashley is holding and protecting um, ends up cutting herself on the side of the book, and when her blood falls onto part of this mechanical device kind of along the spine, it begins to like ratchet, and something opens on it. And as it does, a shadow, a blur, hard to tell what it is, zips out and disappears into the wooded area not far. Ashley grabs the girl and pulls her back a little further, covering her mouth to make sure that she doesn't scream in pain, and starts bandaging her up. And as she looks off towards the woods, says, "Olin, what did we just do?" and beside them is a cat that Olwen picks up and hugs very tightly, with a little spot in the center of its head, a little white spot on its black fur. And then, as the camera kind of like pans forward, focusing on a very worried child, Ashley's face, it then like kind of does that thing where it flips, and she's older now, and the camera's panning backwards from her in the car. And it says present day.
Yeah. So, Ashley kind of focuses back in as the next car is signaled to pull forward. There's just one car ahead now, and while she's busy in her own thoughts and worries, what is everybody else doing?
Sleeping.
Randomly
Go ahead.
flipping through a random playlist.
A random playlist?
Yes.
Elaborate.
Everything from little bit of
Monica in your life.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you're
A little bit of
flipping-
REM.
because it's the 90s, you see, things like playlists aren't really a thing. What Harvey might actually have is
Mixtape.
a mixtape.
Hey yo!
And as he's fast forwarding through this mixtape to find something, it does kind
Fire.
of cut into the next song, and it just says a little bit of Monica in my life, and Mambo number 5 is now playing through the stereo for everybody to listen to. Joanne, what about you?
Joanne's sitting in the passenger seat. She's shifting every now and then because she's still healing from getting stabbed. She has her sketchbook open on her lap, and she's just been drawing that cat. It's all so familiar, but just not enough to remember how.
Drawing that darn cat.
The cat's not with us.
The cat isn't with us. She's drawing the cat.
Oh, I thought you said eyeing the cat.
Drawing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry for my interruption.
You're good. She is sketching the cat.
While sketching the cat out.
Mm-hmm.
The cat's a little sketchy.
Haha. That is technically
Well, you
correct.
do.
That's kind of correct. All right. So, sleeping, music browsing, staring ahead, waiting for their turn, sketching a cat. As the car in front finally pulls off, the soldier on the driver's side waves the vehicle forward, and you really are at a point where you don't get to decide that you don't want to be in the convoy anymore. Or not convoy, but checkpoint. And as you're signaled forward, the vehicle comes up, and he walks up to the window and gestures for you to roll it down.
I roll it down.
He looks, leans, gives you a "I'm doing my job and I don't want to be here" kind of smile, and says, "Afternoon. Where's everybody heading today?"
Good afternoon. We're heading to pick someone up and take a breather through the mountains.
Through the mountains.
Yes, sir.
Well, the Sierra Nevadas mostly closed off. Blackwelt exclusion zone has all their border crossings full. fastest way for you to get into the mountains is going to be through Prim. You're a long way from Prim. Fastest way now is to head south. It's going to be through the desert here on the 395. But he kind of looks at each of the occupants in the car and he says, "Just the four of you?"
Yes, sir. And as I'm doing that, as he's explaining, I do the thing where I pull out the map and I'm just kind of like marking the locations he's mentioning, as if planning ahead, folding the map up, and setting it aside. Yes, sir. That's correct.
Well, that's fine then. Just the four of you. All right. Once you get through here, you're going to take the next exit to the right. You're going to head on in towards Bishop. Bishop will keep you on the highway all the way through the desert. I recommend you stay on the road.
Thank you, sir.
He says, of course, y'all be safe and try not to get stuck out in any dust storms.
I do. So, knowing that this is we're in the like apocalyptic era, how valuable is currency currently?
Incredibly. I mean, society hasn't collapsed. This is the slow decay of society. So you're not in an apocalypse per se, but it is everybody knows that the inevitable is coming. So goods and currency are valuable right now.
Okay.
That's why you guys still have money.
Gotcha. All right. So I probably take like the place he pointed us towards, that was a town as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I probably grab like an apple or something I had planned just for my snack to hold me over, and I pass that across, and I just say thank you for your energy.
He kind of looks at you curiously as you hold out this apple. And he says, "No, ma'am. Can't take it. Thank you, though."
Of course.
Looks to each of you again and doesn't seem to be bothered by it at all, but says, "Just continue on to Bishop. Make sure you take that exit."
Yes, sir.
Good.
Thank
Carry
you.
on. And he waves you off and signals to the personnel carrier and the guy mounted on it to not Swiss cheese your camper. But yeah, you're free to start the engine back up and continue through.
I do so, eager to get out of that predicament.
Mm-hmm. Handed me an apple. Kill them. Yeah, you guys are back on the road. The scenery has largely shifted now, whereas the northwest, around that San Francisco area, is largely forested. The desert that connects the eastern side of California, even on the northern end, with Nevada, is starting to get the creep of the desert, mostly because, you know, the hot winds travel down the mountains, blah, 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 blah. That's how deserts get formed, because of airflow, basically. With things being the way they are, it's kind of going twofold, plus global warming and the ozone layer being ruined by aerosols and da-da-da-da-da, all that other 90s stuff. This side of the Sierra Nevada is being affected just as much as the Mojave and everything else that you're about to be entering into as you travel south. So the landscape is largely shifted more than it would have been 10 years ago. It's starting to become more barren and sandy. And he made mention of being careful to avoid any dust storms. And it's a few hours of being on the road. A few cars are driving in either direction, but it's largely open space. And as the road stretches on, your late afternoon starts to shift into evening. And the stars come out with no electric lights to obscure them. You can see the stars up ahead, and while it looks nice for a little while, there are some clouds coming. And
I am going to turn into the Weather Channel.
you're going to try and find a radio station.
Indeed.
You are filtering through static because you are very far out into a desert. As you continue filtering through the static, you're occasionally picking up jarbled words through it, but the AM is just so hard to slice through. And the clouds are starting to form behind the car as well. It's gotten really overcast, and where a storm would be more indicated by the rolling of gray clouds, these have more of that dark brown of sand and grit, a kind of ruddy, rusted look to it, and the warning signs of a storm, a sandstorm, is forming behind the vehicle.
Is there any sign of shelter in sight?
Give me a roll.
Let's see. Would this be a
Active perception check, if you will.
I'm
Can
gonna
I assist?
guess it.
How are you helping her eyes? You can also attempt to roll, however.
I would also like to attempt to roll.
Alrighty.
I would like to turn on any lights I have.
You are going to turn a light on inside of a car? Don't you know how dangerous that is?
It's
Your parents-
illegal. You'll get pulled over.
Your parents told you that your whole lives you can't turn a light on in the car. You're gonna kill us all.
I mean, if I stick my head out the window.
What kind of Volkswagens have windows that go down in the very back?
Not the kind you're driving, and you're not in a Volkswagen.
Very true. We are in a paddy wagon.
No, you're in what is it called? You're in a hatchback.
Yes. But I thought it was one of the Volkswagen, like, wooden panel ones.
It's not a Volkswagen. Your car is written down. Do you guys not remember what you're driving? It's a Ford. It's right there in your notes. It's a Ford LTD Country Squire. There's
I
nothing.
can't afford to pay
19
attention.
There ain't no German about this car. It's American made.
In 1984 Ford LTD wagon Country Squire.
Squire. All right. Harvey, I'm gonna say, unfortunately, you do not have fog lights built into your drone.
I would think so.
No, you don't have it. But
That is fair.
let me get those rolls, guys. I see 3 successes, 2 successes. Hey, that's perfect. You're in luck. You happen to see that there is a sign for Bishop in 2 miles, which means you're going to have to drive, and hopefully drive fast, because as you guys are basically racing to beat the storm, you're gonna have to maneuver through this natural hazard.
Do we get? I don't. I gotta find it again. Do we get bonuses for the extra dice, like we did in the other books?
Normally, yes, but you were just looking to find something, so that's what you found.
Okay.
Okay, I know in most situations, yes, but here's the thing: you wanted to find something specific, you found the thing specific, so there's no extra rider conditions that are tied to it, because you're just using your eyes. But in the future, yes, you do get more if you make beyond the success threshold. Also, I would recommend opening your book so you can check that stuff.
Yeah, I have it open. I'm
Okay, perfect.
Would you say I might use the bonuses to keep an eye out for things like potholes and use it in like a related role that I am about to make?
You can use it in a future role that might be related to... Yes, you can.
Okay. Lovely. May I make a maneuver?
You are not going to do anything because I have not finished setting up the scenario.
Alrighty.
So I love your enthusiasm and everybody else's enthusiasm, but when we are trying to set up a scene, please don't jump the gun to start doing things, and that please applies to everyone. Just kind of have patience and let me tell you what we need to do, and then we can go nuts. Sounds good?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So
Yes, chef.
yes,
Sorry.
chef. Thank you. No, you're perfectly fine. So we are going to be dealing with extreme weather. As weather has no personality or motive, the tension comes from survival, and the tension, page 64, between the travelers. An old dramatic technique is to trap characters who have issues with each other and see how it plays out. That doesn't really apply. They don't have game spats, but they expose travelers to hazards such as fires, falling, hunger, and thirst. Blah, 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 blah. I want to set up the situation where each person... Oh, that was really it? That's all they gave me? Okay, cool. I think this is going to be just a skill challenge to basically get you all to the exit and into Bishop proper before the sandstorm, haboob, if you will, overtakes the vehicle and keeps you trapped in whatever potential dangers might be in the sand. So we'll do best of 3, and everybody has a chance to try and do something to help with the situation. If there are more successes than failures, we will count that as getting through this. If there's more failures than success, something bad will happen. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts or collective bargaining about it, because this game is about drama and tension, and bad things will happen. Are we understood?
Yes.
Understood.
Indeed.
Real quick, as much as I would love to help, July is currently crashed out after being high, so she will not be helping.
July will count as an automatic failure by her own admission. So just understand you all are working with one failure in here, so I hope everyone else rolls well.
I'm just staying true to character. Sorry, guys. I love you.
Well, hey, here's the thing. That is part of the tension that
Yes.
will apply, because you all have a junkie criminal in your party who cannot contribute to a
note-
situation.
She's also not wearing her seatbelt.
Even better. So, asleep, no seatbelt, one failure for you all for the entire 3 rounds. So, that being said, Shay, you had something you wanted to do, so I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah. So, I would like to. I'm looking at the vehicle stuff. This vehicle has a maneuverability of +3, a speed of 2.
Yep.
Do I roll speed to try and keep distance?
That sounds like it would be the best option, yes.
All right. May I add the 2 banked dice to the roll?
No.
Okay.
I feel that would apply more to your maneuverability, but...
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on if you want to try and outrun it or if you want to maneuver.
Well,
around
she asked
things
she asked
while in it.
specifically for her bonus dice to apply to avoiding hazards in the road. So her maintaining speed has nothing to do with that, which is why I said it would be her maneuverability. So, what are we doing?
Well, I'm more worried about the storm than I am about the road condition right now. I feel like the maneuverability is going to come more into play as visibility drops. So, I'm going to do, I feel it's pertinent to do speed first, and just kind of like press down on the gas and say, see if you can keep an eye out for anything dangerous. And whoever's back there, can you see if you can wake her up and make sure she gets buckled? Throw some water in her face if you have to.
I was going to ask
Okay.
if you wanted me to unlock the trunk and throw her out. We get a lot lighter of a vehicle. I say this as I buckle her seatbelt.
You're muted.
I'm gonna remind everybody to remember that turn orders and initiative, so we are not acting out of turn, and we have to limit our interactions to what is feasible within the time frame. So do not carry on full conversations, and I need concise actions when we have them, okay? So we can maintain... Nope, I want to maintain the narrative and the tension, so please...
10-4.
Everybody focus. Please tell me what you are doing, and if you are doing something, I need rolls.
I'm typing that out now.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So you're doing
I think
a
that's
speed
everything.
roll, and then while doing that, also talking at the same time. That's a free action, correct?
More or less.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand the mechanics.
Yeah, it plays like D&D. It's really not that much.
Cool.
There you go. 2 successes. No failure.
Perfect. I will give the results after the round for everybody. So, who's next?
Joe's past her seat, so I guess I'll go next. So, she's gonna sit up and kind of lean forward to try to get a better view of the front, and she's gonna try to keep an eye out for any dangers that there might be. Just so she can give Ashley a heads up.
Okay, so you're going back to try and wake July up?
No?
Nope, sorry, I misunderstood.
She's setting up so she can get a better look at the road.
Getting up. Okay, sorry. That's what I heard, the getting up part. That's what I...
Yeah, she's kind of leaning back.
All right. And what do we... So it's gonna be no...
Yes, like I said before.
Are you going to push it all, Dougler?
I don't think I can with that one.
You just can't roll the ones again.
So you can push for 3, but not 4.
I think... I don't think getting a 1 in it hinders your ability to push.
That's what I thought it was. You just can't push ones.
If you fail a roll or you want more 6s, you can push the roll, grab all dice that don't show a 1 or a 6, and roll them again. All dice count after the reroll, including ones not re-rolled. For each... Oh, that's interesting. I missed that part originally. So the 1 you have there is also going to count. For each 1, the frowny face symbol on the custom dice rolled after a push, your current hope score is reduced. Oh, okay, so it does still only count for the ones on the reroll. Got it.
Yeah.
So your 1 is still a failure, but you can only re-roll to the 3, and anything after that is going to be hope lost.
Yeah, if you get any 1s after that.
Let's do a quick little funny honey push.
Oh!
Okay. So
I mean, you still got a success.
it is a success, but please mark off that hope loss.
Yep.
All right, Harvey.
All right, so I am going to do exactly what I was going to say before, which is, as I'm buckling her seatbelt, going, I could just open the trunk and throw her out.
You sure could.
What is the? I think it's empathy. I'm trying to buckle her seatbelt, or should I just use my strength to hold her into the seat?
I don't think I need a roll for you to buckle her in.
I don't want you to. For the
I mean, it could
entertainment
be-
factor.
All right, hear me out.
It would be a strength roll for sure.
Speed bump.
Yeah, you just like latch her in and you start playing an alarm.
With the G forces, you're like, I gotta get the buckle in right. Well, because you know how in like cars, the entrance of the buckle thing is like flappy.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like, you know, when you're like trying to put on your seatbelt and you can't put it in, one of those things.
No, I just start playing Enter Sandman.
No, literally, I was literally about to send something in chat about that. I was gonna be like, dude, we gotta play Enter Sandman. I mean, I don't think we can on stream,
I
but just
genuinely
imagine
don't care. We can do it.
Enter Sandman because it's just a fucking sandstorm. Or we can play. Isn't there a song Sandstorm?
To prove Sandstorm.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out yet. Enter Sandman is definitely out now, but I don't think that is yet.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, it took a moment to get my only 90 songs up.
But yeah, I need that roll, please.
Did we say
I think
strength?
Yep. Because you're doing a physical action.
That's fair, because empathy is 2.
I've played this in GTA RP before.
Hey!
Dang.
All right.
Nice.
That's a success. Okay, so for the first leg of this journey, I think everything is going according to plan. The only real hiccup that we have found so far in your efforts is driving like this and speeding up might have caught Joe off guard a little bit, and she bumps her head along the way of trying to get situated into where she needs, and that's going to signify the bit of hope loss. Outside of that, we're on to the next round. You guys are steadily approaching the off-ramp that you were directed to by the soldiers. And so I'll need another set of rolls because now there is a giant rolling wall of sand behind you.
All right, so same kind of thing. Ashley reaches up, she adjusts the rear view mirror, sees that, sees the off ramp. Now it's going to be maneuverability to smoothly hit this off ramp, avoid any hazards and all that.
Okay.
While this roll is being done. Is it okay if I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't want to
No, you're fine.
throw anyone off guard.
You can do it while she's rolling.
This round, could I roll to see if I wake up?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to put that in there before we continue.
No, I think that's fine.
Cool. I don't know what roll that would be, but I'm not doing that yet. So
I mean, drug cylinders are kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
You'll probably take a penalty for it because you are recovering. I think
2 successes.
Well, your failures negate your successes.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's why ones are bad in this.
yeah. Well, okay. So it's different than the previous books where it's like
It is, yes.
they only count if it's a failure.
Hmm. So
Okay.
because again, the only time it counts as a failure here is if you're pushing. So your failures negate your successes, and you have the option to push with 4 dice.
Could you still roll the successes though as a push? Oh no, 1 or 6. Sorry. I get it now. Sorry.
Yeah, you wouldn't risk your successes on a reroll.
Yeah, no, I get that. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, making a reroll isn't all that valuable then.
I mean,
Because
if
it's
you get more successes.
Well, because
then
right now
you
you're at
pass.
0. Yeah.
Right now you haven't passed your roll.
What I'm saying is, because this would be neither a failure or a success then.
All you care about is making a success. So if you don't make a success, you fail. This is a pass or fail kind of situation. It's not make or break. You have to pass in order for it to succeed.
Okay.
So right now you are not passing.
It's just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we gotta hit that exit light, broski.
It's just strange.
It's not. This is a pass or fail kind of scenario, and how this game has always worked. You have to have successes in order for it to be a success. If you don't pass, it's a failure. That's how it's always been.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like it would just mean, like, no harm, if that makes sense.
It's at that point, it's always just going to be a 50-50, is what I'm saying. So
It is. Yes, absolutely. That's how it's always been. You succeed or you don't. You are only worried about passing. If you don't pass the challenge, you don't proceed forward. That's how it's always been in all 3 versions of the game.
Fine.
I mean, my point, because like in previous games, having more dice was beneficial because you had a higher chance of getting successes.
You still have that.
Hang on, please. Pretty please.
Hun, we're in the middle of a game and we're not really having a debate about this.
Okay.
I
rolled.
Okay.
All right.
What
that's
I
okay.
want you to understand is the only difference in this is your failures in here negate your successes. Everything else has always been the same. Your 6s are still successes, but if you rolled all 2 3s and 5s, you still would fail. Nothing's changed outside of one extra caveat, is that now 1s will reduce your 6s. So you still have a good chance if you roll more 6s, which is why you're encouraged to push. Because the only caveat to pushing now, whereas before there was no stakes in pushing. Now if you fail your push, you take hope damage.
Oh, that's not what I was concerned about at all.
Okay, but I'm explaining why it is the way it is, because it seemed like you weren't grasping that part. And so for the sake of moving along, I just need you to understand that it has always been pass or fail for this, and if you have no successes, you still have not passed. Is that
I have a
part?
quick question in regards. Sorry.
No,
Continue.
it's fine. It's just the interruptions are still
No, I get it. This is more clarification.
okay.
So, 1s mean that something bad happens. Like, if you have more 1s than like anything.
Yeah.
If you just flat, like, no successes and no 1s, then that would just mean you don't succeed and nothing bad necessarily happens in terms of, like, I guess, damage or story altering, quote, in quotes, not as dramatic. And then successes mean that you do what you intended to do.
Yes, this is not D&D where there is a hard numerical value target threshold that, changes the situation, and high number always means victory. These games exist outside of the D20 system, so we have to remove the D20 mentality of I roll good, so I have to do well. No.
Yeah.
Some rules say that bad things negate your positive things. It's just like if we were doing Fantasy Flight, where it was the Star Wars one. The bad dice negate your good dice, and you have to have more good dice than your bad dice in order for the story to succeed. Yes and no but. As long as you succeed in your rolls, you will do well. If you do not succeed in your rolls for one reason or the other, it is not considered a pass, but narratively we explain why it doesn't get to that point. So it is not so much we're thinking about probability, you are just looking to have more successes than you have failures. And by pushing, it increases that chance of getting there. So we have rolled, we have pushed. There are 0 successes for Ashley. Who is next?
If we're keeping...
I believe it was
initiative.
Peter, yeah.
Could I roll a empathy to try to wake July up?
Absolutely.
I feel like this would be a
I think it would be a
combative
contested roll.
Yeah, contested. That's the right word.
Yeah.
What would I use for it?
Probably your empathy as well.
Okay. Oh, well, you're
2
fine.
successes.
I mean, Joe has to... Please roll.
Oh, wait, is it R/? Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No,
Okay.
/R.
/R.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
All right.
I wake up.
Joe, how do you wake her up?
I think Joe sits up in the seat, holds her side, and just reaches back, just touches her neck, like, okay, heartbeats are going, just grab her, or just give her a little shake. Like, come on, July. You don't want to be asleep if we crash.
Yeah. What's happening?
Sandstorm.
It's a rude sandstorm.
Keep an eye out behind us if something goes wrong, if something comes at us.
We gotta get out of it then, right?
Trying.
Okay. And she's awake, but she's leaning her head against the window, like still waking up.
Yep. So, Joanne has successes. July is still not contributing. Harvey.
Well, since we can't change the weather, I'm going to actually try to do random math.
And what is random math going to do for the situation?
Try to calculate the actual speed that we need to do to actually hit the ramp. To see if I can assist the driver.
Sure, why not? The car honk was disapproval. Sorry, there's somebody outside. Would you like to push?
I would like to push, so that would be 5 dice, yes?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Harvey, how much hope do you have left?
I have 3.
You have 3?
I don't know if we got our hope back from last time, did we?
You did not. You hadn't done anything to try and fix your hope. So,
I did not, so...
What's your total hope, and how much do you have left after taking 3 points of it?
Ooh. Did I just stroke out?
If you hit 0, you are out of the scene.
Okay. Because I had 3 hope from last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally just... Yep.
Okay.
You literally just see sparks fly out and red hydraulic fluid just spray out of the car.
Yeah. All right. So what we end up seeing here for the narrative, Ashley is trying to accelerate and maneuver and try and get the car into a position towards the ramp. There's a pothole. There's a really bad pothole because we talked about potholes, and I feel like a pothole would be appropriate. in this abandoned stretch of road. The car hits this pothole, and I think it's going to take some hull damage for the group having more failures than successes. So its hull drops from 5 to 4. The car is rattled a bit. It probably helps wake July up. So we're on the 3rd round now. You are nearing the exit. You can see the buildings of Bishop in the distance. There aren't many lights, but you know that finding some shelter out of this storm is your best hope for salvation. Ashley?
I'll make another maneuver roll, and I'll ask the other two, can you two look for a place to get us some shelter?
Sure.
Yeah, I can. And she, like, rubs her eyes and, slaps her cheeks to try and wake herself up. Some more. This one she will be trying to look at
Success.
stuff.
2 successes. Perfect. Next up.
Joe is going to use wits to try to look for a spot where they can find some cover of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
1 success, 2 failures.
Well, 1 fail.
1 success, 2 failures. So, are you going to put... Well, this would be the instance where pushing is not helpful, because you would just negate the other failure if you managed. And it wouldn't be worth losing hope, potentially.
I do have 2 hope left, but I don't think I'm going to push now.
I wouldn't risk it. Okay. July, you're awake. There's a very large wall of sand. The sand is actually starting to form around the car in the way that, like, the wind is really strong and it's kicking up little pebbles and dirt. It's colliding with the windows and clashing off the windshield, and it's starting to get real auditory inside of this little tin can. Yeah. Also, Harvey is smoking now. Out of his compartment.
Well, she's fine with smoke.
Yeah,
she's been around it enough.
Not that kind of smoke. Not the good kind of smoke.
No,
this is black acrid smoke of something burning.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like she doesn't notice the smoke quite yet because she was leaning against the window.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was then told to look for a place. So she, like, not realizing that she's buckled, she, like, leans forward to try and grab onto the 2 front seats. And, like, get a better look outside of, like, the windshield and the windows, but then, like, sits back or, like, gets stopped because she's buckled in, and she's kind of like, what the fuck, for a moment. But then she looks and tries to find a place for shelter.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Wits, I assume?
Yeah. Take wits.
Oh, wait, let me check to see.
Keep your wits about you.
Oh, shoot, wait. My other thing didn't save, but I don't think it has anything to do with this, so it's fine. My new talent that I added, it was the hardened talent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. It was something about traumatic experiences, and I feel like this might be traumatic.
I don't think so.
Well, in the sense of, we could die, but it's fine. We're good. Okay.
I think it's the wrong kind of traumatic, though. Would you like to push?
Yeah, I'll push them all again. Fuck!
Reduce a hope. Okay. So we have 1 pass, 2 failures. So I'm gonna ask for one final roll to be the tiebreaker because I feel like 2 successes with 2 failures should not just be an automatic failure in the instance of best of 3. So please, Ashley, you're driving. Give me one final maneuver roll. Okay.
Yay.
I got what I needed. Hooray, everybody, we did it.
I think the real quick, I think the failure for July is the seatbelt, and she gets like yanked back.
Yeah,
into
you
the
get
seat.
you definitely get that, like, you're trying to move forward and it does that like safety lock on you.
Yeah.
Yep. The one that everyone forgets about and just kind of snaps
Yep.
you back to reality. And it might be a little annoying.
There goes gravity.
Yep, and so you're struggling with the seatbelt for a little bit, and it's really frustrating, which is why you lose a little bit of hope. The wagon is able to get to the off ramp, and even though the dust storm has formed around them, they have offsetted the worst of it by entering into the town of Bishop. Most of the small, not a town isn't really the right word because it has some very large buildings in it. But basically you're down a street and the wind cover reduces quite a bit.
I could have used my my hardened. It's fine.
Okay.
We're already past it. Sorry, I just realized it's a wits or empathy roll when resisting traumatic events.
Okay.
So, just for future. Sorry.
Cool. So driving through and looking for somewhere safe, the first thing you spot through the headlights cutting through this haze of dust and gritty sand is there's another vehicle on the road. Its lights are out, and 3 individuals in what look like sealed environmental suits are quickly trying to unload this vehicle. One of them is standing at a doorway, waving the other 2 in as they are carrying heavy crates. And this environmental suit, it's shielded off for the most part, but the little flashlight on the top of the helmet kind of turns in your direction, and a gloved hand lifts up and points at the vehicle, and then gestures for you all to get inside as well.
I open the door before it even stops. In true July fashion.
I out yet.
She hasn't slowed down yet.
So once I pull up to a corner where it's relatively shielded from the brunt of the sandstorm, I just pull the collar of my shirt up over my nose and mouth, grab my pack. How heavy is Harvey?
He's a robot, so heavy.
It's gonna take all 3 of us.
It's gonna take some effort. He's a robot.
Yep, okay. I'll grab one of his arms.
Joe's gonna hop out. She doesn't have a hood, which is unfortunate, and she's just gonna try to help Ashley with Harvey.
I'm gonna say that takes a penalty. Just 1 dice.
And I lock the car after everybody's out, and we will drag Harvey inside.
Alrighty. Everybody who is dragging Harvey, please do so with a strength roll.
I think July had opened the door, because I never said she got out. She opened the door while they're still moving. Car stops, kind of thing. She's about to get out, notices that everyone's going to be grabbing Harvey. I think she also has her, still has her backpack on her back, because she uses it kind of as a prop when she's sleeping, to prop her up. Acid reflux, that type of shit. And she, grabs a piece of Harvey, whether it be a leg or just something that's the closest to her to pull him out.
Alrighty.
Strength roll. Oh, that's what I'm good at! Sorry.
There you go.
That is the one.
Fuck.
That was not the right thing.
I do want to push, though. So it'll be 3. Oh! Shit! Okay, I'm out for the scene. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
That was so fucking bad. Oh my god!
Dougler, are we pushing?
Sorry, I have to mute for a second.
No. I can't risk it at the moment.
Ashley, the other two are trying. They really are. You're trying.
I was bleeding again.
You're trying. They're trying. This sandstorm is hard to see. It's hard to do anything because the sand stings and is cutting and is really, really problematic. Also, it doesn't help that Harvey is fucking heavy. He's a robot. If you had time, you might have been able to move him. You're not going to be able to move him in this storm. It's probably safer to leave him in the car now than get yourselves cut to pieces in the middle of a sandstorm.
All right.
Hold on, I'm not finished.
Okay.
Thank you. At the same time, July, you start to panic. In the sandstorm, you think you see something. You think you see a familiar face. A face you've been running from as you are very clearly half awake, half drugged, and in full panic. And that's where the real complications in helping Harvey come from. You don't want to be in this anymore. And I think the impulse would be to run, but as it becomes clear that the three of you are struggling to get this drone in, the one that was not carrying boxes in the environmental suit is approached, and a hand is put on July, and
she's in a fetal position on the ground, by the way.
That's fine.
Like covering her head.
That's fine. There's a hand that's put on July, and when it's clear that she's not moving, they reach down and they pull her to her feet. And whether it's dragging her fully or she's, hobbling along but being forced into it, she's pulled inside because the other option is being out here and dying.
She's being dragged.
Guys,
like,
please let me finish.
Sorry.
Please.
I thought you had finished. You
I'm
paused.
not. I will tell you when there's a chance to go.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I apologize.
It is so disjointing.
Continue.
Oh, we love the game so much.
Oh my gosh. Okay. July is pulled inside. Joanne is able to run inside. Ashley is able to run inside. Harvey has to spend the time inside of the vehicle. I will say that you all have closed the car up so that he is not lost under a mountain of sand or any of your stuff is at risk. But you are all inside. Inside of this building, it doesn't resemble the outside at all. There are sterile white walls, a layer of sand that has crept in from where the door had been opened, but these three members of something in environmental suits have gathered around a number of crates and are looking at you now. One of them takes their helmet off, and you see an older man, Caucasian, balding a bit, and he looks and he says, "Why are there civilians here? This is supposed to be a closed site. Did your friend send them here?" And a second helmet comes off. You see another man, more of a Hispanic complexion, a bit younger than the first. And he says, "It wasn't me. No, I think she did it. She's usually the one that has test subjects get sent this way." And closing the door, the last person unclasps and unseals their sealed suit and lifts off a helmet. And there's a woman with red hair and glasses. And she kind of looks to the three of you and says, "Yeah, sorry about that. I did need some people here, and I had requested that Jerry direct them our way. I hope it's not a problem, that they'll be staying with us for a little while." And Ashley, you immediately recognize an old friend you haven't seen in about 5 years.
Hello?
Hello. All right.
Can you hear us?
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Can
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
You
Yeah, I
exist.
suddenly stopped hearing everyone, and my connection went into the red for a second, but
Okay.
now it's in the green. Sorry.
Do I need to start over for you?
I heard literally right before, I heard she's usually the one that brings her test subjects in, and then that's where it stopped.
Okay. I'll dial it back.
Sorry.
You're fine. Walking it back now. They say she's usually the one who brings test subjects in. And so, with the door closed and sealed properly, the last of the people within the environmental suits unclasp their helmet, and you hear the hiss of the environmental ceiling lift, and a red-haired woman in glasses is revealed underneath, and she says, "Yes, apologies. I did request that, I already forgot the guy's name. Insert name that I gave to this military person. I requested that he deviate some people that would be able to assist us for something." Ashley, you recognize the face of an old friend, someone you haven't seen in quite a while. She looks to you with a smile and she says, "Hello, Sherry. It's good to see you."
And there's just the like look back before it's like, Brenda's? And then this, if it like as part of the TV show, I imagine it's just a scene change.
Mm-hmm. I like that. And so there is a bit of a scene change. But we see that now the six of you, assuming that there isn't really any more grief to it, you had been asked to join them on an elevator and more would be explained. But now this elevator is descending slowly. There's some soft elevator music playing, but she busies herself with explaining, and she says, "I had asked a friend to bring a vehicle here to Bishop to help us with something. I am researching an issue that has been happening within the Mojave for quite some while, and I think that he had made a good choice if you have been brought in this direction to me." And she kind of takes the moment to look at each of you. She looks at Joanne curiously and, smiles sweetly, and she says, "I don't think I caught your name." I am Rendis Larucio. I am a research scientist. These are my associates, Jacques and Paul. We are very happy to have you and understands that you will be well taken care of and fed. And if you need, the facilities have anything you could ask for while we ride out this storm.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You're not researching anything to do with the Project Popobawa, are you? Like that's all done? You've researched all that already?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean from the Loop Foundation?
Hmm.
Um,
I haven't forgotten how you caught it.
no.
I was there.
I
If I remember right, you used me.
I.
It's in a very playful tone.
She pauses and there's a finger that's brought up to her lips and she says, Ah, I do remember now. Yes, that had happened so long ago. I apologize. And she says, Joanne, that was your friend's name, was it not?
Yeah.
Joanna.
Ah, Joanna, apologies. And she looks down at where July, I imagine, is sitting balled up in a little corner. And she kneels down and,
Completely dissociating.
yeah, very gently puts a hand on July's shoulder. And she says, Bonjour, Loop. Are you all right? Is there anything you need?
She just shakes her head and kind of like flinches away from the touch and like lifts her hand to like kind of like push her away and just like hugs her knees further and just stares at the floor.
Take the time you need. I know this is a very rough period for you. You are going to really go through it for a while. But once you become clean, it will be much easier for you, I promise. And she looks back up to Ashley and says, No, this is not about Sipopabawa. We are here for something completely different. And it is fortuitous that it is you and your friend Joanna who are here. And that July is here as well. I am so happy to see all three of you.
With that real quick, July just kind of sits up because the moment that she said something about getting clean and blah blah blah, she immediately red alarms, red alert, intruder, went off, and she's like looks up and she's literally just like, how the fuck do you know my name?
Well,
And she's like reaching into her boot where she keeps her gun.
it is not that strange. You may not remember. Or maybe we haven't done this part yet. Either way, I can assure you I did not mean any harm. And she holds her hands up. Nor do my friends, Jacques and Paul. They are most very nice men, and they know to keep their distance and maintain professionalism. She looks over her shoulder with kind of scolding eyes at the two of them, and they both look away like, yep, we're going to be on our best behavior. And she keeps her hands up, and she says, you don't want to reach for that. You are not in danger, and you are not in trouble. I genuinely need your help with something, and you have every right to refuse if you do not want to help.
Rindis is a friend. She doesn't generally put people in harm's way.
Don't act like you fucking know me. And she kind of like just crosses her arms over her knees again and turns away.
She's been very hit or miss.
See, it will take time for her. It will be all right. I just need you both to be patient And be understanding. She's going to need all the help.
You mentioned that it may not have happened yet. Is there a time eddy here?
She's covering her ears at this point, by the way.
With the mention of time, she brings her finger back up to her lips. And she says, "C'est possible? It is, as, how you say, spoilers?" And there's a ding, and the door opens up. And she walks out first, opening to a larger facility. And as she walks out, the two men pick up the crates that they had been carrying. And she says, "The three of you, of course, have the choice to continue on. If she does not want to continue, you can ride out the storm on the upper level or in the elevator. But I have a feeling curiosity is going to get the better of her eventually. And you all will join us and see what we need help with. And I will not ask for your help without a payment, of course. And if you are in need of supplies or food or fuel, we can be willing to part with some of it to help you." And she kind of pauses for a moment and says, "And we can help your friend back up on the surface. We can make sure that he is rebooted properly so that he does not lose too much in his crash."
Okay. That would be helpful. What did you need exactly?
Where's the bathroom?
The bathroom is going to be to the left.
She goes there.
There's a clearly marked room that has like the little one of the gender neutral signs that has like the little man silhouette and the woman silhouette, and then right in between there is another silhouette that kind of looks like an unspeakable eldritch entity. But either way, it says "all are welcome" at the bottom.
Cool. Well, July's gonna go get her fix.
Mm-hmm.
Door opens and Huey steps out. All yours.
Do you say that out loud?
Fucking you.
That was me making a joke, but
No, I mean, are you the player saying that out loud?
me, the player, just said it out loud.
Roll a d6 for me. Okay. That's all I need. Thank you.
Also, mechanic stuff real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, do your thing.
I was at -1 hope. And doing drugs adds, I think we said 2. So now I'm back at 1. Temporary 1.
Yeah, you are at temporary.
Until the drugs wear off.
Mm-hmm. At which point you'll be back out of the scene.
Yeah.
Hey, since I'm giving her a chance to get her hope back, Harvey, why don't you roll me something as well? I want just from you a d6. And I will take 5 or 6 as a success for this. Oh, he's muted. Harvey, you're muted. Oh. Well, all right then.
Oh, rest in peace.
All right, well, I really wanted the chance for it, and I gave you even a higher probability. Okay, Harvey is going to remain offline for now.
I didn't hear if it was 1 or 5.
Oh, no. I was saying 5 or 6 would be a success for this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. That is definitely not a success.
Nope, it's not. I think what we actually see, if this was like for narrative purposes, Harvey is definitely booted out, but the pilot elsewhere, far from here, probably in some dark room or some thing tied to the backstory that we're not going to expose too much, but we can just like see the ones and zeros and like the red error screen pop up, and there's probably just so many expletives and curses as the attempts are trying to reboot
Oh.
Harvey and get the taskbar
So many.
moving again. Yeah. There is a system restore in process, but because it's we're on.
It's that 90s never-ending load screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you move the mouse and it just leaves a trail.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you have that, like, the blue block loading thing with the Arial font that says connecting above it.
And don't forget the noises.
That too.
Okay. Bringing it back. July is doing drugs. Harvey is rebooting. Just leaves Joanne and Ashley. The question was asked, what exactly is being done down here? And or is there, oh, we already covered the time one. What is being done down here? And she says, I do not know how to explain too much, but we are one of the few groups of peoples that are still trying to keep everybody safe. There is something bad happening across the country, a sickness that is spreading through, that is infecting minds and are slowly corrupting the machines and corrupting the minds of people. It is not like my normal fields of study, but since I deal with things that are deemed supernatural, I was called in to help see if this was something that I might be able to help with. And she walks the two of you into a larger room, and you see that there are just walls of like conspiracy boards and boxes of papers and stacks of things, but every little like whiteboard with stencil markings seem to be incoherent ramblings or thoughts of trying to figure out why people are losing their minds in the neurocasters, or what the neurocasters are doing, rope or little twine threads leading to Sentry, to Rexignary, to the Loop Foundation, to Sunshine, and there's all these different points, and everything is circling back to a spot that just is at the very center of its own whiteboard, and it just says nowhere. And it is circled over so much with one of the dry erase markers that like the ink starts to fade out, and it looks like they have been just mulling over what this is over and over and over and over. And she says, every time we try to find something about this, we end up, and she gestures to the board and she says, nowhere. I am at a loss. I do not know what it is we can do to help people, but it seems that the grasp of whatever this is has a hold on people's minds, and it makes them addicted to these damn neurocasters.
Nirvana. Does it have anything to do with that? I look for anything indicating Nirvana connected to nowhere.
In the threads for all of the stuff, you see within the Loop Foundation board, you're seeing names, Vivian Green. You're seeing, oh God, Lydia's name on there. You are seeing killer cyborgs, several question marks. There is something called the Godhead, all kinds of different things. Some of them are crossed out. And Nirvana is one of those places that does show up on it. And as she is looking at it, she says, Nirvana was shut down. Your project had ended at the Foundation. When the Foundation went under water completely, all of the data that was stored there was lost under the water as well. But for some reason, something is persisting, and we cannot get to this site to try and figure out what it was. We know that there were entities created with your help and through the efforts of your friends. Things like the Oni were allowed to persist. And it might be connected, but it was the first avenues I had gone down. We have not been able to locate Oni or any of the other entities that emerged from your friends' meddling and from your efforts to contain the situation. I think whatever happened 2 years ago with you and your friends has spiraled well beyond our control.
There's like just facing away, like a very kind of like guilty expression. She like actually reaches up and kind of wipes her face a bit before taking a breath. I might have a way to access it. Might. What did you need me to do here?
For one, I need you to go get July and keep her from getting any higher than she already is.
I can do that. I can try. I do have a lot to tell you, something to go over. I could use your thoughts on my plans, but I haven't given up either.
She kind of smiles at that and she says, Sherry, there will be all the time in the world for that, I promise.
Ashley gives a nod and then goes to look for July.
July had asked to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and she's there.
Knock on door.
It's locked.
July, are you in there?
No response.
Do you want a snack?
No response.
Maybe something to drink?
I'm good. I'm just gonna stay here for a little.
Do you think you can open the door?
No.
Do you think I can open the door?
Nope.
Is that a challenge?
No.
Will you do me a favor and open the door?
Like 5 minutes.
Ashley's just gonna like sit down and lean against the door, like on the other side. Something's bothering you?
Nah, I'm great.
That's a lie.
No, I feel awesome right now.
How long is right now gonna last?
Don't know.
While you're feeling good, do you mind if you open the door so that I can get you to a more comfortable place?
Is there like a bed or something nearby?
I
That's like
can.
cold and great because the tile on this floor just feels amazing.
You
It's
want a
just
cold bed?
Yeah.
We can go look for a cold bed.
Okay. And she'll get up and open the door, stumbling a little bit.
Put an arm under July, and I'll walk with her to try and find like a. She said cold bed. I'm gonna look for a cot.
You're in luck. There are cots.
If there's a pillow and a blanket, she's just gonna be chill.
Bit shit to the floor.
Yeah. I reach into the backpack and pull out just like some of the rations we have, and there's just like a little, like, I don't know, like wrapped up, that kind of like wrapped up cheesy bread stuff or something. And she'll start splitting it with her, try and help dilute any drugs in her system.
I'm not hungry
And
right now. I'll just have it later. And she'll like wave her hand a little bit and cuddle up under the covers and hold the pillow close to her face.
I feel like you're going to be hungry fairly soon. Do you want me to like leave some here for you?
Yeah, just put it next to the pillow.
All right, I put it next to the pillow. A little bit of just a water bottle too. Are you gonna be all right here?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you a bedtime story?
No. That's fucking. I'm not a kid.
Look, everybody's a kid at heart.
I don't know
Unless
what
you're,
it's like to be a kid.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Nah. I skipped over that portion of my life.
Did something bother you outside?
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about it now while you're in a good headspace?
Nah, because then it'll make me not be in a good headspace. I just want to enjoy this moment.
All right. Would you like me to hold on to your drugs?
No, you're not allowed to touch anything in my bag. And it's still on her back as she's like laying in the bed. And she like, I don't know if it's against the wall, if the cot's against a wall, but she'd like scoot back if it is against the wall to make it harder to grab.
Make this easy, we can say it's against the wall.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna really need you to keep your head about you as we move. And believe it or not, I don't want anything to happen to you.
Hey, I don't want anything to happen to me either. And this, and she'd like pat the backpack, is how shit doesn't happen to me, Queen.
I don't know if that's always gonna work.
It's worked so far.
So far is going to eventually have a wall. You know that, right?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No, you plan for that bridge.
I forgot the phrase. 2 heads are better than 1.
I don't think that applies there.
Agree to agree.
I'm glad you agree with me.
I don't agree with you. That's what I was saying.
You just said you agreed with me.
No.
Pretty sure that's what agree to agree means.
No. Disagree to agree.
No, it's agree to disagree.
That's it.
That's it. So I'm going to give you a little advice, okay? Will you at least promise me you'll consider it?
I cannot. No.
You can't even consider it. I'm not asking you to take the
no.
advice. I'm asking you to consider the advice.
I can't promise you that I'm going to consider it. That's the thing. I mean, you can still give it to me and I might consider it, but I can't promise you that I'm going to. I don't make promises I can't keep.
All
That's
right.
snitch behavior.
That still doesn't apply, but okay. So I'm going to recommend that you, the next time you want to take something, you take a lower dose. And then the next time you take something, you take a lower dose than the one you had before. And you keep taking a lower dose.
That's just wienering me off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way you don't run right into a wall and splatter all over everywhere. And your brain won't evacuate your ears.
Brain does that all the time.
No.
That's why I do this shit.
No, your brain is still in your head, and I just kind of like tap her forehead. And
sometimes
once you
feels like it's not.
Once you hit that wall, things are going to get really, really bad, and you're going to wish that you did wienering off of it.
I feel like if that does happen, all of y'all are gonna wish that I didn't.
Then I'm gonna say,
because that shit that happened over at the fucking fun place, that's not so fun anymore, it'll be much worse than that, I can tell you right now.
Then what's keeping me from just ditching you? If that's going to be the case.
No, that's a you thing.
Do you want to be traveling with us?
Yeah, I would need to get as far away as possible.
Then if you want to be traveling with us,
is this gonna be one of those conditional things?
I need you to start considering everybody else and not just yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Are you going to be a danger to us?
Not if I'm in a good mood.
In that case, I'm going to say you should probably start weaning yourself. I'll show you other ways to have fun.
Okay.
Do you want to learn how to play an instrument?
I can sing.
Oh, you can sing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
How about this? The next time we do a performance,
so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming.
the next time I practice, you can try. You can be the singer. All right.
Okay. We'll make a rock band.
I was in a rock band.
Shit, you were?
I
That's
sure was.
fucking metal as shit.
Yeah, we were called the Utensils.
Utensils like frying pans and shit.
Like spoons and forks and stuff. It's kind of our thing.
Oh, fancy. You spoon people?
Spoon people. I've spooned a few. Yeah.
Oh, fun. I spooned some people not too long ago.
Was fairly certain that was you. Yeah. Yeah. The robot started acting.
If I did, I would hand one to you.
Yeah, the robot started acting funny around the park.
Yeah. They like fucking kidnapped me and I had to talk myself out of it. It was
All right.
fucking bullshit. I gotta keep my money though.
Well, I'm gonna ask that you consider what I said.
Mm-hmm. I can
And I'm gonna let you get some rest.
considering it.
Okay.
Sound like a deal?
Sounds like a deal.
And she'd hold out her hand.
I'll shake her hand.
Perfect. Don't touch my backpack.
I won't if you consider considering it.
I will.
All right, and I'll leave her to rest.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the bug beds bite.
See you in the morning. And she'd cuddle up and enjoy the warmth of the comforter and coldness of the pillow.
She'll step out and go find the others again.
And so, back at the laboratory, Joanna has been having a conversation with the scientists, and it would be when Ashley walks in that they hear, and that's when I had taken the time to get into a bit of a wrestling match with the Sasquatch, and they thought that I was going to be killed because the creature was over 7 feet tall and almost a metric ton. But turns out all you had to do was tickle him behind the ears, and he was as tame as a puppy dog. And they all have a moment to laugh around the coffee that they were drinking. And Joanne, whether or not you're like even aware of the fact that you had been in this conversation for a moment, she kind of pauses and says, "Joanne, do you happen to know anything about nowhere that might be able to help us?"
I have a talent that says I might. I want to use my intuition. Once per session, you may ask the GM to give you some kind of useful information.
This is a very weird response to be giving me, Joanna. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So, can I just set up the scene, then you can give me the information at that point?
Yeah.
So, Joe wasn't really paying attention to the story that was being told. He was just kind of looking at the murder board, just kind of moving from each one, not understanding the technical things, but just kind of looking to see how it started to flow, see if one thing flowing to the other made sense, or if it didn't fit right. She just grab a marker, and she passes the whiteboard that says "Killer Android Cyborg." She just scribbles onto it without really looking. Michelle next to that for tapping the marker. Just following the lines to where nowhere ends up in the center. What would the mystery boards lead me to? Insight.
Let's roll and find out.
Could I do my empathy rolls then?
Yeah, let's roll and find out. Would you like to push?
I would not.
You don't want to push? Alrighty.
I only have 2 hope at the moment.
That's the worst that could happen.
You get high
Okay.
and pass out.
we got 5 minutes left. Oh, okay.
You
Well,
blow a gasket?
Wait, hold on. You rolled the wrong one. Those are D8s.
D8's not too far.
Aha!
I was
there
like,
you go.
why did that 6 not
Hey.
get green? Okay, yeah, no, I'd much rather have that be the result. Okay, so, oh no, I think I have an idea for you. You are looking over all of these boards and all of the strings and everything that's leading all the way to nowhere, and as you're looking around in it, Joanne, your insight is noticing that every so often in the scribbles of things that are coming up, you are seeing nowhere pop up every so often. And when you go back to look at them, you're looking over and you're seeing phrases start to form around these words. And it's going to be the way we close out now, because I think it's appropriate and dramatic, but this is just for Joanne, because you're seeing an old saying that feels eerily familiar to you, and whatever has been guiding you along the way. And it just says, you will bring joy to the Nowhere King. And at the final moment, when you look back at the words that are circled, the big scribbling of nowhere, you kind of look past the board into the white, and you stare at it for a long while, and through the void of this absence of color and light, you hear a voice reaching out, and it's a female voice, and all she says is, "Come back to me." And that's where we're going to end.
You? Cliffhanger.
Several cliffhangers, so many questions, so few time for
Left
answers.
unanswered.
Yeah. Let's do our level ups, huh?
Sure.
Yeah. Who wants to start us off?
I need to be reminded how it goes again.
You pick a stat that you think you used in the session, and or a stat that you can give reason for rolling on. And if everybody says, yeah, that checks out, then you roll a d6. If it's over the number you have, you increase it by 1. If it's under the number you have, you gain a trait instead.
More or less, yes. There's a little more to it, but that is...
I was gonna say, wasn't there something else where
Mhm.
something about the dreams and flaws?
Yep. you have to show how that embodies your stuff, not just which one you want to improve on. So, it's after each session, have a debriefing in the group. If you don't have time, blah, 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 blah. During the debriefing, each player in turn tells the group how their traveler has acted according to their dream or flaw, or both, at least once during the session. The other players and the DM can discuss and comment. If the table agrees that you followed your dream or flaw, this is when you choose one of the 4 attributes that best represents what you feel you have learned during the session about yourself, another traveler, or the world. You roll the dice. If it exceeds your current score, it'll improve. If not, you can pick a talent. So there's a bit of a caveat before you roll, and that's the important part that we have to remember. So who's going
to start?
First?
Alrighty. I mean, this is kind of a theme as of right now. Definitely followed my flaw of being a junkie. And in this specific scenario, I think I would roll for empathy because me and Ashley connected with each other a little bit.
Okay, I think so.
And my empathy. Do I go based off of my legit empathy score, or do I go based off of after I've taken the drugs?
Your legit empathy score.
Okay. So currently it's at 3. Okay, I'm taking a talent instead.
I might start to limit when we do these level ups now too, because I think every round might be too much for talents. Like if we're running a long-term game, you guys are going to end with every talent before we're done, but it's fine right now. I might spread them out a little more later on instead of this, but tonight it's fine.
I actually was looking just in case this did happen. I think with her constant use of drugs, I am going to... Oh, wait. I'll go with my original. Was the 9 lives plus 2 dice when making death rolls.
Okay.
So I feel like she definitely has come close to death multiple times in her past, and this is just continuing that.
Alrighty. Who's next?
I can go.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna say well, actually both. Still very focused on trying to save people, and she did start showing signs of her survivor's guilt at the studying of the wall.
I would agree.
I'll agree.
I'm fine with it. Roll away.
Okay, I'm gonna say agility because of all the car drive.
Yeah, checks out. I'm assuming under.
That's definitely under, yeah.
Okay. Do you have the talent in mind, or will you tell us next session?
I know I was looking at a couple. I don't know if I should take.
You have to pick one that applies to the thing you just rolled for.
Oh.
You're suddenly not going to have backstabber for driving well.
No, yeah. I usually only pick ones that are thematic to the character. There are a few that are kind of thematic. I'll have to look through it.
Okay. Just remember it has to apply to what you rolled for. Okay, next up.
Guess that'll be me. So Joe's dream is she is feeling pulled to Stillwater. And the mystery boards that she looked through is related to those, so I think that
Definitely counts.
And I think the only trait that'd be related to that at all would be her empathy, but that is already a 6, so I'll have to look through the talents. Just for shits gills.
Everybody with the 2s. Okay. You have something else in mind for a talent?
Not at the moment.
Okay, we can come back to it. Harvey, you're last.
All right. Sorry, I was trying not to die or blow my own gasket. Well, I mean, I didn't throw the addict out of the car,
You didn't, no.
so that is kind of empathy, and I did make sure to buckle her seatbelt.
I think
However-
the buckling of the seatbelt is more important than not acting on a passing whim. Okay.
That is fair.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also did go against my flaw,
That's fine.
which is, yeah.
That does apply.
Well, I'm also saying with the whole Harvey shutting down,
Mm-hmm.
pilot going, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!"
Mm-hmm.
So,
Still applies, yeah.
so I guess I would be rolling for empathy because I know it.
All right, roll for empathy.
Here's that one die.
It's just 1d6.
Yes. Wow.
Wow, 1s and 2s all night. Okay.
I know.
All right.
I
So
know.
a talent that applies to empathy or whatever happened tonight within that reflection, and that'll be good. All right. Well, I think that's everything, guys. I'm glad we made it. We will be back in 2 weeks once the convention is over.
Woot! Excited.
Let me know how it goes.
Will do.
Oh, you
Everyone
guys will
have a
get so many
wonderful night.
pictures.
Thank you for watching. This has been Party Wipe Games with